Welcome back everyone to this new series, and we're going to be talking about Shroomboom. This whole thing is inspired by Crypt Crusher's basically videos. You can go watch them. They're very nice and very informal on Skylanders, and it kind of helps you figure out if you want the Skylander or not. And I'm hoping to do the same with different Skylanders he hasn't done yet, and Skylanders that personally I love, Shroomboom being my favorite. Um, I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you guys still find this fun to watch, and hopefully I can make this maybe like a weekly thing if I have enough time. So yeah, let's get into it. The first two moves that Shroomboom can learn is Slingshot and Mushroom Ring. Slingshot being an overhead attack that can hit multiple enemies if they're clumped up together. It's a very nice area damage, which is kind of Shroomboom's specialty in my opinion. He does damage to a lot of people around him, especially when you get further into the upgrades. It's very nice, and he does solid enough damage where it doesn't feel like he's just hitting him with a wet paper towel. Now the next move that he can learn is a Mushroom Ring. Mushroom Ring being a little bit more iffy in my opinion on what it wants to do. These green guys kind of show off what I feel like it's intended to do. It's supposed to do just a little bit of damage and just stop enemies on what they're trying to do, which it does happen in the beginning, but they can walk through the ring, which kind of stops the purpose of what I feel like it's supposed to do. So it's a little iffy on there, and there's some upgrades that help it a bit, but I still find it to be iffy. Now for the first move you can buy for Shroomboom's arsenal is going to be launching a paratroopers. This is a singular mushroom that can be thrown out that does a little bit of damage and pushes back just a tiny bit. Now this move gets really good in future upgrades, but when it comes to just the first one, it's pretty lackluster in my opinion. It doesn't really do much. It hurts a little bit. It doesn't even like the pushback isn't even much of a pushback. It's more of just them just kind of getting like stunned. It might honestly just be the spell punks, but it's okay. But later on, it gets a lot, and I mean a lot better. Now, for the next two moves, we got Shroom Ring gets bigger, which doesn't really do much, and then Bigger Boom Shrooms. Bigger Boom Shrooms is probably your primary attack after you get this for singular targets. It does a lot more damage. It has a very nice area damage too when it comes to hitting things. It's just a very nice move in general, and you can kind of miss it and still hit them pretty well. It's a very nice move. The last thing Shroomboom gets before having to switch over is just bouncing mushrooms, which is what I said before with his upgrade. It just allows you to be farther away and allow the mushrooms to actually maybe hit. It bounces for a while too. I thought it only bounced twice, but it will continuously bounce until momentum is done. Now we go on to the paths. The two paths do pretty well in what they're trying to do. The top one is all about trying to make the mushrooms a lot better. Now, Mushroom Shield, again, like I said, is kind of iffy if you have it by itself, but these upgrades make it do a lot more. The first one will let the mushrooms have like a poisonous gas inside the middle. With this, it also explodes all the mushrooms around it. If you attack it or an enemy gets too close and attacks it, it will explode, launch up in the air, and then they just freely fall down, just taking that poison damage as they go. Second one just makes the Shroom Shield a little bit farther on how far it goes, which is pretty nice, I guess, especially if you don't want to get too close to an enemy to actually get this to work. The last one allows you to freely move underground and not be seen, which is very nice, because if you can set up the trap to hit them, launch them up in the air, you're underground, they don't see you anymore, they stay still, they get hit by the poison, and you're just getting free damage at that point, and there's no risk at all. It's a very nice move, but I still think the bottom path still takes a cake of what path I prefer to take. Now we got the second path, which, in my opinion, there's two of them that really stand out. The first one is the one that really does it. It just lets you shoot your mushrooms a little faster, which doesn't really matter when it comes to the other ones. The second one lets you have a fungus infection, which just deals damage over time with the paratroopers, which also doesn't do much since you only have one at this moment. But the third one lets you have multiple of them that come down from the sky. Now you can run while doing this. So you have three of them coming down, running. You're doing a lot of damage with it. It normally hits even with enemies that are running towards you, which the first one couldn't do because there's only one, and you normally have to kind of keep them still to actually hit. It's homing It is such a good move. The shield does also do kind of what this wants to do, but this is just a lot more free damage, a lot more free moving, and you get to do a lot more, in my opinion. This hurts me to say, but Soul Gems and the Wow Pow for Shroomboom both suck. They take way too long to let go. They do up to like 100 damage, which sucks because, you know, basically one big mushroom shot does exactly that same amount. It's not much. You're not missing out on much not getting these soul gems. It's really the suckiest part about Shroom because everything else has been pretty nice. Like, it's been all about damage, trying to do damage to everything around you, but this doesn't do it. You can't even move it after you commit. So if the enemy moves, or for some reason they move, you're just screwed. It sucks to say it, but these soul gems just stink. If I had to give a rating to this guy, from all this that I've all said so far, I'd give Shroomboom a 4 out of 5. Is that a little bit of personal bias? Yes, but I do not think he's perfect in any sense. Soul Gem and Wow Pow suck, in my opinion. If you pick one of the paths, you're missing out on something really good in the next. Either you pick the shield and miss out on a very good paratroople invasion and fungal infection, which do a lot of damage over time, or you pick that, but then you miss out on your shield actually like doing things for damage and being able to run a little faster away from people. It's an equal balance of I missed out on something, but at least I have this. So if I had to pick a path, I for sure would go fungal infection just because it's a lot more free moving in my opinion. It lets you go anywhere you really want. And the shields do feel nice, but again, sometimes they're finicky. Like even here, they're not even exploding sometimes. So fungal infection at least have some consistency in it. And if I had to pick a Shroomboom you should buy, probably just buy the original one. The Sure Shot looks cool as a figure, but his Swow Pow has nothing else to give in my opinion. So unless you really like the repos, don't buy it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's fun to make these type of things. It's very much different than from what my normal stuff is. If you guys enjoyed this, subscribe. Again, I would like to try to make this a weekly thing. And if you guys didn't like this, just tell me and I will never do one of these again. But subscribe, PayPal in the description if you want to help out. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.